You know, the days after the resurrection of Jesus were truly amazing days for the disciples and all of those followers of Jesus. He made a total of 12 appearances, beginning with Mary Magdalene. She was the very first to see Jesus. I'm not going to list all of those appearances here, but the last appearance that he made with his disciples was out on the Mount of Olives. He gathered out there with them, and they visited for a little while, and then Jesus did this. So let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 1, beginning at verse 6. It says, So when they had come together at the Mount of Olives, the disciples asked him, Lord, will you at this time restore the kingdom of Israel? They were still expecting, this Messiah to come in and drive out the Romans and set up the kingdom. And he said to them, It is not for you to know the times or the seasons that the Father has fixed by his own authority. But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. And when he had said these things, as they were looking on, he was lifted up, and a cloud took him out of their sight. And while they were gazing into heaven as he went, behold, two men stood by them in white, and said, Men of Galilee, why do you stand looking into heaven? This Jesus, who was taken up from you into heaven, will come in the same way as you saw him go into heaven. Now that's a better depiction of how Jesus went up into heaven according to the Bible. Without the music, of course. I'm sure that they didn't have an orchestra there at the time. But you say, do you really believe that? I mean, maybe it's more believable he got into a hot air balloon and went up. Of course I believe it. You know why I believe it? I believe it because I believe the Bible. And I believe this. According to John's Gospel, chapter 1, verses 1 through 3, it says that in the beginning was the Word, that's Jesus, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. Now, listen to this. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So, what does this tell us? It tells us that Jesus is the creator. He could do anything he wanted to do. And look, all of those miracles that he performed while he was here on earth, and the wonderful display of his power, well, it was all because he was the creator of it all in the first place. The laws of physics, well, they don't mean anything to him as far as having to follow what man has discovered, because he knows a whole lot more A whole lot more than man knows. In fact, science is nothing more than man finding out what God already knows. And sometimes they think they've got it, and they don't quite have it. But Jesus, as the Creator, could do anything he wanted. And there were witnesses, a bunch of witnesses that saw this happen, and that experience was something that they recorded for us in the Bible. Can you imagine that? How that must have been for them. Jesus all of a sudden started rising up, and then he disappeared into the clouds, and they're not. And then the two angels, they must have been angels, the men in white clothing, it says, standing there, says, hey, 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 you why are you standing there gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus that you saw going up, he's going to come back in like manner. That's how Jesus is going to come. He's going to come back in like manner. And he could come back any day. And just between you and me, I'm quite ready for it.